It's week 14 in the NFL, and that means one quarter of the season remains. It's time for us to start talking about the MVP candidate. The problem is we keep talking about a bunch of people when really there's only one. There's really only one choice for the NFL MVP. Now, last week, the Seahawks took on another NFC team with Super Bowl aspirations, a legitimate playoff contender. The week before that, the Seahawks bested the Eagles, taking their record to 9-2, which makes Russell Wilson the first quarterback in NFL history to have a winning record in his first 8 seasons. Spectacular. That's never been done before. Russell Wilson's now 10-2 after beating Minnesota. And a really fun game. That was actually a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. Throughout the season, Wilson's completing 67% of his passing attempts, 3,178 yards. He's on track for over 4,237 to be exact. That's a 16-game pace. He has 26 touchdowns, plus 3 on the ground. Puts him on track for 35 plus 4, which is 39 total touchdowns. The Seahawks have beat the 49ers. And like I just said, on Monday, they beat the Minnesota Vikings. Thanks to Xavier Rhodes, by the way, his miserable season. Dalvin Cook leaving the game and Stephon Diggs having his ankle bent 90-degree angle on the exact same play. By the way, that touchdown, that when Dalvin Cook got hurt and fumbled the ball, and it ran all the way back for a touchdown. They ran 100 yards down the field to celebrate while Dalvin Cook was crumbling. That's not a good look for the NFL, or for the media crew. Whoever was in charge of that broadcast spent way more time looking at an end zone celebration on what really should be really routine play. Nothing special happened there. There was no great play. Dalvin Cook fumbled the ball. You picked it up. You ran it in. Short field position too. Nothing spectacular happened there. I do want to, at least before I keep going, I want to acknowledge that I don't think I like that very much. I wish we could have paid more attention to what was actually happening on the field. That's besides the point. Russell Wilson's completing 67% of his passes, on track for over 4,000 yards, and almost 40 touchdowns. Like I said, the Seahawks beat the Niners. They beat the Vikings. They've got a 10-2 record. I really don't care who they played. They have a 10-2 record. That's relevant. But the Ravens have a 10-2 record also. And there's another candidate for MVP. Honestly, I think there's just one. You see, the Ravens have beat the Patriots. They beat the Texans. They outslugged the 49ers. That was a game that I'm glad that I didn't record this a week ago, because I was ready when the Ravens defeated the Rams in that blowout. I sat there on the couch and I remember going back to the second half of that game, excited to watch a blowout. When's the last time you wanted to watch a team get blown out? I can't remember the last time I didn't turn off the TV and go to the basement and do something different, or go to bed at 10:30 at night. But not this time. I wanted to watch Lamar Jackson play. Lamar's beat the Patriots, he's beat the Texans, and he's beat the 49ers. And when he dominates a team, you want to watch that too. When the Ravens beat the 49ers, it took the 49ers out of the 1 seed in the AFC. And the Ravens the NFC. It took the Niners out of the 1 seed in the NFC. And because the Patriots lost, it also put the Ravens into the 1 seed of the AFC. What a surprise. This is all due to a transformation that we've seen from Lamar Jackson. Bill Polian had to apologize. Bill Polian said, here's what he said. I was wrong. I was wrong because I used the old traditional quarterback standard with him Clearly, that's why John Harbaugh and Ozzie Newsome were more prescient than I was. The fact of the matter is the Heisman winner didn't project well. The entire football community, pundits, fantasy analysts, everybody doubted Lamar Jackson because the fact of the matter is his rookie year, he was not a very good passer, period. Polian dinged Jackson's size, 6'3", 211 pounds. By the way, that's similar to the other quarterbacks who were drafted ahead of him. Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Josh Rosen. What are they doing? Josh Allen? Okay. Sam Darnold got 6, so maybe we don't know for sure. Baker Mayfield, Josh Rosen? What? Lamar Jackson is now completing 66.4% of his passing attempts. He's only threw the ball 60 fewer times than Russell Wilson, by the way, and he's not a very good passer, right? Wrong. Now less yards, 2,500 yards. Oh, but guess what? 1 fewer passing touchdown than Russell Wilson. And what's spectacular about Lamar, we all know, is not his passing chops. As great as he improved as a passer, we like Lamar as a runner. 977 rushing yards and 7 rushing touchdowns. Lamar Jackson needs 63 rushing yards to beat Michael Vick's record in his second season in the NFL. Whoa. Whoa. If you looked at Lamar's rushing statistics compared to the running backs in the leagues, Lamar would be the 9th best running back in the NFL as far as rushing yards. Tied for 5th in rushing touchdowns, by the way. Only a few. We're at the point with Lamar Jackson where it's just a couple of touchdowns keeps him from being number 1. I think it was 2 or 3. I would need to look it back up. But it's such a tight race when you compare Lamar Jackson's rushing statistics to the best rushers in the NFL. It's really not that much different. And by the way, he can throw the ball. Lamar's touchdowns and interceptions are almost identical to Russell Wilson's. Except Russell Wilson threw 2 pick sixes. One of them was against Baltimore. By the way, Baltimore has beat Seattle. That's important. Russell Wilson's thrown 600 more yards, but Lamar's run for 700 more, and he's got 4 more touchdowns. Lamar won head-to-head. There's no doubt in my mind, guys. I don't want to keep going on about it. I feel like I'm beating another dead horse here. Lamar Jackson is the NFL MVP. Am I crazy? Do you disagree, Cory? What do you think?
I completely agree.
It doesn't... I can't see another way around it. The only way that I can see that Lamar Jackson's not the MVP, and this sounds crazy, is if the Saints continue this run, despite all odds, really. I mean, they've been relatively healthy, but there's something about the Saints that's not the same. If the Saints can make it all the way to the championship game or the Super Bowl, then we can talk about Michael Thomas. But I'm pretty much done about talking about other quarterbacks. It's Lamar. If there's going to be a quarterback, it's going to be Lamar Jackson. The biggest things for me is just the way that just the development that he has had. Look, we're going to look back on Russell Wilson's career in 10 years from now, and we're going to feel like we really disrespected Russell Wilson. But the fact of the matter is we're also going to induct Russell Wilson into the Hall of Fame. There's no doubt in my mind. I was hoping that it would be 5 years from now, it would be Andrew Luck and Russell Wilson, Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. That's what I was hoping for. That's not going to work out. So we're going to have Russell Wilson. And he says he's going to play till he's 45. Russell Wilson's going to the Hall of Fame. But this year is Lamar's year. And it's just incredible. I keep circling back to it. The way that team has come alive, the way that they have taken over the AFC is remarkable to me. And they've kind of left the AFC in a mess. The wildcard race, I think the wildcard race in the AFC is an absolute mess.
Harbaugh's got this team running around like a college football team that's ranked number 1 in the nation, just stomping teams. You're talking about that game when they blew that team out. They're up 30 points, and they're going for it on fourth down in the fourth quarter in field goal range.
Yeah, and we loved it.
They don't give a shit.
They don't. They don't. I don't know if that's allowed, but I think we're going to roll with it this time.
We'll fix it. But when you go into the draft, all these teams and fan bases think they're going to find a Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck, an elite quarterback. It's not going to happen. You're hitting the lottery if you do that. All these other quarterbacks that have been drafted they're playing terrible. But if you have a good coach who can adapt and that your player's skill set, you adapt your team to his skill set, you're going to be way more successful. If you put Lamar Jackson on any other team, on the Patriots, and he had him running the same plays as Tom Brady, it wouldn't work.
I'm glad you brought that up. If you put Lamar Jackson on the Seattle Seahawks, they're still 10-2.
I agree.
If you put Russell Wilson over to the Ravens offense, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't work.
I don't know. It could work. It could work.
He's not as fast as Lamar.
It's a different thing.
That college-style offense wouldn't work where he's running read options. I know they run a little bit of it. It just wouldn't be as effective.
You're right. The thing about Lamar's rushing attack is that it's the only true rushing attack that we've seen out of a quarterback for a very long time.
Yeah.
Even Michael Vick.
Yeah, I was about that. I watched a little bit of Michael Vick growing up. They didn't run like read options and stuff with him. He just scrambled.
He was running for his life.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just good at running away.
Yeah.
And that's what Russell Wilson does. Russell Wilson is great at escaping the pocket, getting rid of the pass. Russell Wilson's a great field general. I'm not taking any of that away from Russell Wilson. But this year, right now, today, I'm telling you, man, I'm going to watch every Ravens game I can possibly watch. And the reason is Lamar Jackson. If he doesn't win the NFL MVP, I'll eat my hat. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. Because what he's bringing to the NFL is excitement. It's just pure excitement.
No, I agree. It's the only team that I watched that same game. I turned it on when they were up 30 points to watch them play.
So do you expect the Ravens to keep the number 1 seed in the AFC?
I don't see why they shouldn't. I guess we'll just have to see how it plays out. It depends what the Patriots do. They got a big game with Buffalo. And as far as Russell Wilson, I think the Seahawks are my favorite to come out of the NFC. So they're saying that the Ravens and 49ers was a Super Bowl preview. I think it'll be the Seahawks. I don't think the 49ers get there. I think he's doing great things. It's not to be shoved under the rug. But
I would agree with that. Their last test, you're absolutely right, is this coming Sunday at 1:00. The Ravens go to Buffalo. And Buffalo's been a really sneaky, surprising team. We're going to see what Buffalo's made of this week. If the Ravens beat Buffalo, it's over. It's absolutely over. After the Bills, it's the Jets, it's the Browns, it's the Steelers. It's done.
Night.
Give them the AFC. It's over. But that's what's interesting is because we talk about the Bills. So in the wild card race, things have got a really nasty kind of wrinkle to them. Things are not what we thought they were going to be. I think the Bills could potentially, if they're not a wild card team, we're talking about a situation where the Bills are 1 game back behind the Patriots. There's a legitimate chance that over the next 3 or 4 weeks, the Patriots slip and the Bills take advantage. Is that craziness?
Nope. It's going to be, Patriots and Bills are going to get one of the wild card spots for sure.
Yeah, I would agree. Patriots play the Chiefs this Sunday. The Bengals following. They're going to win against the Bengals. Then the Bills. That's the game. 12:21, 4:30 p.m. We got to flex that to Monday night right now. Sunday night. I don't care. A night game. 4:30 game's okay, though. That Patriots-Bill game that's what's going to decide that entire division. The problem with the Patriots has been the offense. The Bills will. I believe the Bills could smother the Patriots.
No, they've been atrocious.
We'll see how that plays out. The Steelers are also still sneakily in the mix. Without Juju, without James Conner, without Ben Roethlisberger. Mike Tomlin's done a hell of a job. I don't like Mike Tomlin, by the way.
Really?
I don't like him at all. I've got this image into my head. A couple of years ago, he stepped out onto the field. It was during an interception. Or it was some big play. He stepped out onto the field and tripped a player.
It wasn't Tom. I thought it was an assistant coach.
No.
It was Tomlin?
It was Mike Tomlin.
I remember this. I know what you're talking about.
I don't remember the exact details. I should have looked it up. I guess I didn't know it was going to come up. But I'm going to hold that against Mike Tomlin forever. I should separate them because obviously Mike Tomlin's done something right. After Mason Rudolph gets hit in the head with his own helmet, and Devlin Hodges comes out, third string quarterback now, without their wide receiver, without their running back. And we're still talking about the Steelers. 7-5 Steelers have a chance. The Titans. Oh my gosh, the Titans. I'm a Colts fan. I'm a Colts season ticket holder. And I've got a huge problem with the Tennessee Titans.
Let's just skip this section. I don't want to talk about it.
No, we're going to talk about it, Cory. Titans have won five of the last 6 games. Thanks to Derrick Henry, by the way. Don't like that either. I'm eating my words there. I didn't like Derrick Henry a long time ago. Never liked Derrick Henry. Denied it. Now here he is. 3rd in the league in rushing yards. Bruiser.
He's a monster.
I think the Titans finally figured out what pundits were saying last year. The New England running back that came, Deion Lewis, I think it was.
Right.
Where's Deion Lewis? I haven't heard his name for weeks.
Nope.
I think they finally figured out. Feed that man the football and let him wear down a defense. Sooner or later, he's going to bust one off for 50 yards. It's going to happen.
Yeah, it's great. He's so big, but he's got the breakaway speed.
It's incredible. And then you add Tannehill. Tannehill, by the way, is a better Mariota. Yeah, I know. Originally, I thought that Tennessee was using Tannehill as a Band-Aid and that they'd go to the 2020 draft to find a replacement. I don't think that's the case. I think Tannehill's the starting quarterback moving forward, and Marcus Mariota's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, he's done in Tennessee for sure. He's terrible. He's been terrible. Derrick Henry's like if you put Eric Ebron in the backfield. Like, he's like a tight end playing running back with breakaway speed. It's insane.
The Titans are a problem for the Colts. They're a problem for Houston, too. The whole AFC South is a mess. I'll digress there. We'll move on. Oakland.
Titans are at Oakland this week.
Titans are at Oakland this week. So here's another wrinkle to the fabric of the AFC. Raiders are 6-6. Titans are 7-5. Obviously, one of them is going to get a significant advantage. Raiders have a favorable schedule. The Titans, the Jags, at the Chargers, at the Broncos. I expect the Raiders to win at least 3 of those 4 games. So now they're 9-6. 9-7, sorry. That's with them losing to the Titans. I don't know what's going to happen here. The Colts have fallen apart.
Yeah, they're at a huge disadvantage right now. They lost the Steelers and the Raiders. But if you want a little strain of hope, they were 6-6 last year and made a run, won their last 4. Only problem with that is we got to go into New Orleans on Monday Night Football.
That's not the only problem. The bigger problem is the health of that team is questionable. I'm questioning whether or not the Colts even intend to win another game this year.
I mean, you have a chance. You have to try.
Well, you have to try, except if T.Y. Hilton's being unplugged like they talk about. That's important.
Yeah.
Adam Vinatieri is all of a sudden has a knee injury.
Yeah, I just got a notification that said he's probably done for the year.
Yeah.
Which probably means his career.
That does probably mean his career. He's on a 1-year deal now. Once that's over, I can't imagine. What a shame, by the way. What a shame for that to happen.
It all fell apart at once, man.
That's how it happens. That's what happens. By the way, Tom Brady's done soon, too. Because Tom Brady's watching Adam Vinatieri. He watched Peyton Manning. It falls apart quick. Falls apart fast. That's beside the point.
Yeah, and I mean, every year we talk about Tom Brady falling apart.
He's not falling apart, but I will say, statistically, Tom Brady's not that far off from Mitchell Trubisky. Go and look it up.
He might be there, man.
I'm telling you, he's there in 2019. Go look it up. Tom Brady versus Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah, no, I don't doubt you at all. I'm just saying this could actually be the end of Tom Brady.
I don't know for sure that it is. If they win, I think it's end. I think it's over.
I agree.
I don't know what happens if they don't win. I don't know what happens if they get real close and the Ravens knock them off in the AFC Championship game. I don't know what happens then.
Well, somebody pays them a big, stupid contract. Someone besides New England, it's going to be a huge mistake.
Well, I don't see Tom Brady signing another contract. We've gotten totally derailed here. Because my point is that the Colts, we all started with, the Colts don't have much of a shot. Hurt, Saints are coming.
And then you got the Browns. And they're just here mathematically. They don't have a chance.
Now, mathematically, they have a chance. We talked about this. I've talked about this before. I think the Browns are, as Baker Mayfield says, a soap opera. I feel like between calling W's and wearing fancy watches and not wearing the right cleats, and now all of a sudden the coach is wearing a shirt that says they started it or Pittsburgh started it or whatever it said. It's a distraction. I think they're a distracted team with a distracted coach. They're done. Real shame, but they're done. I don't see any chance for them. If by chance they could grind their way into the playoffs, they're a one and done team. Unless maybe they end up in Dallas. They can't end up in Dallas.
They ain't going to be there.
They're not going to be there. The only hope would be to play Dallas with Jason Garrett 1 foot out the door and an upset team. That's the only way, and that's not possible.
So you're calling a Dallas Cleveland Super Bowl? Is that what you're calling?
Oh my God, no. I'm calling a Buffalo and an Oakland wild card spot. That's what I'm thinking. Buffalo wins a wild card. Oakland wins a wild. You know what? I still don't know about that. The New England could be the 5 seed.
It's going to be Buffalo or New England as a wild card.
We're going to find out. So
really, we're just talking about one here.
Well, then I think it's Oakland.
Who's going to get that? Yeah.
What's Oakland's schedule?
It's in there.
I don't see it in there.
Yeah, Titans, Jags, at Chargers, at Broncos.
Yeah, we talked about that. Oops, it was in there. Yeah, Oakland's winnable. So they've got a really winnable year. That's how I see it. In the AFC, I expect the Ravens to keep the 1 seed. I expect Houston to win their division, although the Titans could take it from them. I do expect New England to take the number 2 seed. Although I do think there's a legitimate chance that they lose that to the Buffalo. But let's assume that New England postseason is the New England postseason we all know. I expect Baltimore to be the 1, New England to be the 2. Houston wins the AFC South. AFC West is won by Kansas City, but maybe very, very narrowly to Oakland. So Houston takes the 3, Kansas City takes the 4, and then Buffalo or New England, 5, and Oakland. That makes sense? All I really care about right now is that Lamar Jackson's the NFL MVP. That's it. When I look at the entire AFC, there's no other option. Across the NFC, there are some choices, but they're limited. Anyway, I'd mentioned that before. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse. It's not the point. What's DraftKings look like this week, Cory? By the way, Cory, last time you were on, you had a few selections for bets of the week. And I think you were 3-1, was it? What was the record?
Yeah, 3-1. That was week 11.
What were the bets?
We weren't in here for a couple of weeks. I haven't pulled up. I know the big one. I took the Cardinals plus 10.5 against the 49ers, which covered, but I actually took the bet on my phone a couple of days later and the line had moved down. So on my phone, I didn't get it. But if you took the bet when I said, you would have gotten that. So we were 3-1. I like a few games this week. My favorite is Seattle minus -0.5 point at the LA Rams.
No brainer.
Just for the same reason. I mean, Russell Wilson, if Lamar Jackson wasn't in the NFL, he'd definitely be the MVP. That's a good football team. They're my Super Bowl favorite, and they're way better than the Rams. The Rams just kind of stink this year. I think they'll be fine, but this just isn't their year.
By the way, what happened to the Rams? And when the Ravens were getting blown out, when the Ravens were blowing out the Rams, I thought, wait a minute, it was almost exactly a year ago that the Rams went toe-to-toe to Kansas City in like a 75-point game. What happened there?
Well, they went the odd route of, and this is just my theory, they went the odd route of getting free agents opposed to drafting their team. So they got a bunch of 30-year-old dudes like Ndamukong Suh, and there's some other guys. They had some corners. They just traded one of them to Miami. I forget. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Well-known guy. I just think it's just not staying together like they thought it would. It was kind of 1 year 1 year boom, I guess.
I'm a little afraid that Sean McVay's not the mastermind we thought he was. We'll see. What's your next bet?
I like Indy +3 at Tampa this week.
I don't like that at all. Why do you like it?
Really?
I don't like it one bit.
James Winston's a little reckless, which I know Tampa doesn't mind that. Bruce Arians likes it. But Indy's defense has been playing pretty well. It's been our offense that stinks. So I think they'll get some turnovers. They got some turnovers against Tennessee. They couldn't execute, but I think it's going to be a redemption game. They're going to give us a little more hope here for the end. They're going to cover.
With Indianapolis talking about T.Y. Hilton being unplugged, Pierce Campbell's supposed to come back, but what does that mean? Eric Ebron had a surgery on both of his ankles. He's done. Devin Funchess not coming back. I mean, Zach Pascal can't do it all.
Hey, Zach Pascal's a good wide receiver.
Is it Pascal or Pascal?
I call him Pascal.
I call him
It's probably Pascal.
I don't know what it is.
That's probably what it is.
I need to know what it is.
But he's a good football player. I hope they keep him around.
He's been a good football player. That actually stings me a little to see Deion Kane in Pittsburgh, by the way.
Yeah, he's not playing. I saw he had a big play.
Yeah, he's going to have a lot of big plays. Yeah, the Colts got caught up in a New England Patriots game. The Patriots are experts at this, at cutting players, signing them to the practice squad, putting them back on their roster. They do these weird contract things to negotiate injured reserve, and as they need a position, there was it was a wide receiver. The Patriots did it last time to get wide receiver help, and it worked for them. The Colts did it, and they got burned, and now Pittsburgh's got Deion Kane.
It'll be all right.
So, Seattle minus 0.5. I love that one. Indy +3. We'll see how that works out. And what's your next bet?
I got Miami +5 at the Jets. Miami's learning how to win. They beat the Colts in a close one. They've had some other close games. I'll have to look it up. I feel like they've won 2 out of 3. They don't have a lot of talent, but I think they're well coached. I think they're a decent football team. I think they're more well coached than the Jets. I think they're going to cover in New York. And then I've got the Browns -7.5 versus the Bengals, which scares the crap out of me because I bet on the Browns I don't know how many times this year.
Your note here has got me crazy. The Bengals stink. Well, they do.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you can buy maybe a point for the Browns and get like -6.5, that's probably more ideal, but I think you'll be fine at -7.5.
Back to Miami, what you were saying, they do know how to win games. I'm a little bit curious to see. I'm really curious to see what will happen next year with Miami. Mike Gesicki's coming on. 2nd-year tight end? 3rd-year tight end? I don't know. I need to look it up. I should know these things. This is on me. Mike Gesicki's coming on. They need a running back, but they're going to get a running back in the draft. There's no doubt in my mind about that. Fitzpatrick can hang on for a year. What do you think about Miami? Is Miami a team that can propel themselves from worst to relevant, at least?
They're almost there. They're way better than they thought they'd be, which makes me think, well, like I said, they're well coached. They're kind of learning how to win football games. So I think they, get a couple more picks. They got a lot of young players that are progressing. Although they did trade away that Laramie Tunsil, the old lineman, to the Texans. Should have kept him around, but they'll be all right. Another team I like could pop up next year. The Cardinals, they're beating teams they should beat, like the Giants, like the Bengals. So we know they're not the bottom of the barrel, and they're competitive with good teams. And Kyler Murray's good. I like Kyler Murray. And, they're just going to keep getting better. They're a young team as well, so keep an eye out for them.
Kyler Murray is good. I'm excited about Kyler Murray in a way that I didn't kind of expect to be. Now that I see Lamar Jackson, I think, what can Kyler Murray give me?
Kyler Murray's if Russell Wilson and Lamar Jackson had a baby, is exactly what Kyler Murray. I swear to God, Kyler Murray's, the way he throws the football looks exactly like Russell Wilson. He has one of those ball flights that just looks good. When you see it in the air, you're like, oh, that's a good looking pass. And Russell Wilson's the same way. Lamar Jackson doesn't have that, but he's got Lamar Jackson's speed. So he's another unique player that, as the more they craft that offense around him, the more dangerous he's going to be.
I agree 100%. The Cardinals are scary. They are so close. You nailed it. The Arizona Cardinals are a fringe team that everybody better be paying attention to in 2020 because they're a couple of picks away and a couple of months away from Kyler Murray developing into a field general, a rushing attack, a passing attack, a running back, an offensive line, and they're there.